So the day I walked into the doctor's was the day I found out I had breast cancer, but it was the last thing I was expecting. When the doctor said, unfortunately I've got some bad news, you've got breast cancer. I felt that that day my life stopped for a little while, because suddenly I wasn't Mandy riding horses, playing tennis, going to work. I was suddenly Mandy who had to fight against breast cancer. I was feeling at quite a different lot of levels when it happened. First of all, was I was going to fight it with everything I had. You know, I've got the kids sitting there and it's like, I need to be here for them, and I wasn't going to not be there for them. So I already knew that I was going to win, and it was just a matter of asking the doctor what I had to do, how I had to do it. Give me everything, no matter how bad it is, I'm going to take it because I'm going to be here. I was going to fight this. So I don't think I ever actually thought that I wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to beat it, because I always wanted to. There was just too much to lose to not beat it. I kept thinking that I feel too strong, I feel too healthy, I had too much to live for. How could it be happening to me? So I really didn't get those feelings, which I think I was lucky about. People think I'm courageous or brave, not thinking it, but I just don't. Yeah, when I found out that my sister-in-law had cancer, it was a shock, but it didn't scare me because I'd already gone through it. So I figured I got through it, she's going to get through it. She was one step behind, which meant that it wasn't going to be easy, like for what I felt like I had it easy, because I had my cancer treatment of chemo and then radiotherapy, and then I was cured. As time went on, Mel had a chemo and had to have more chemo, and then the chemo wasn't working, and she was deteriorating in front of everyone's eyes, and for me that was really, really hard. So I tried to keep in contact with her more. It was at least once or twice a week, a big chat all the way, driving home from Adelaide, just to talk about everything. But near the end, she had resigned herself that that's where that she was going to pass, and I wouldn't accept that. Like saying, oh, you got to try this, you got to try that, and I kept thinking that my strength and what I had could push into her, and she was going to be all right. I really, I believed it until the day she passed away, and for me, I couldn't believe it because I didn't think that was going to be the outcome, and then having to deal with the funeral, and all I could say to her was that how sorry I was that I wasn't strong enough to look after her, because that's my job, to help people, and you can't help everyone. And I just want people to know that it doesn't matter that you can't help someone not pass away, but you can help them to be brave while they're alive. It made me think how lucky I was. I am, and I am every day. My rainy day is every day. So if I want to do something now, I do it, within reason. But she, just knowing that that's the alternative, and it makes it real. And I don't think till that point I really knew it was real, because I didn't believe it was ever going to happen to me. So, and now it's happened to my dad now, so it made the same. I thought I would do the same for Dad, but you can't. I didn't believe that was what was going to happen to me. So when it happens to someone else, it's a shock every time it happens, even though it's inevitable. But you just think that all the people around you, you can look after them, you can give them strength. Yeah, but it doesn't stop you trying. Everyone should keep trying. And that's what it is to love someone, really. I still feel really lucky, and I think no matter how horrible the experience was with chemo and radiotherapy and all that went with it, and that my life stopped for a year, and I'm never going to be as strong as I was, and I'm going to have to deal with a lot of different things that I didn't have to live with. I still think how lucky I was, and some of the things, I think life is experiencing things, so I didn't you know, who gets to experience chemo or who gets to experience life. It's a life learning experience, and from that, meeting people and the people I met and then the experiences I had, you know, I think I'll never forget the day I decided to start running after chemo, and my friend Rosie came with me, and I could barely run a quarter of the oval, and that was probably just shuffling, not even running. And it was really there that I realised how weak I was, but determined as always, and said, right, we're going to do the 6K at the City to Bay. And it just seemed like this monster in front of us. What drove me was raising money for good causes. So, you know, raising money, I think it was for Encore, which is a breast cancer group. So raising money for them give you that extra motivation. So you're not just running for yourself, you're running for other people. And I think that's when I got into the running, because you're running to help other people, and it's a really important thing to do. And through that, I was lucky enough to win a trip to New York to run in the New York Marathon. And that was the time that I found out in July, but then I had to have a breast reconstruction in September, which put me in critical care for about 4 days, and then not allowed to do anything for 3 to 4 weeks. So I only really had 2 months to train for the New York Marathon. But again, I just said, I'm going to do this. Even though there's a time limit, I'm going to do this, and I did. And that was something I would have never had an experience of if I hadn't had cancer, because I wouldn't have been running, because I never ran before. So, and meeting the beautiful people that you meet in the waiting rooms, and the people that sometimes ring me, that someone knows someone who knows someone that rings me to say they just want a little chat. They're the special things you wouldn't ever get if it hadn't happened. I learned that I've got a good sense of choosing my friends. I don't think there was one friend that I has chosen as a close friend that shied away, that didn't support me, that wasn't there all the time. And I think, and family of course too, but friends and family, you learn how important they are. And I think I've chosen pretty well my friends, because they're all awesome. Yeah. So I chose India, my beautiful coloured mare, for the photo shoot, because without her, I don't think I could have made the journey. She was my rock. You've got to have a rock. When you're feeling sick or you're feeling alone, and I'm just at home on my own, I could go out and cuddle her, and she was there. I don't see myself as courageous. I just think you just need to be positive. I think people are courageous who have something that's really hard for them to do, and they have to succeed, and it could be as little as, you know, talking to someone that they don't want to talk to, or going into a crowd on their own. I think that's courageous. Everyone's got a different level. I think believing in yourself is important, and maybe that makes me courageous. I don't think so, but believing in other people and letting them in and letting them support you, I think might be courageous a bit. Yeah.